So it's great to start the week. Gosh, I love the Mondays. And after a day of private worship. So last week I showed you the splish splash thing. And at the end, I brought it up. And the thing that I didn't care about is that I didn't see during that hour of drying time, I didn't have the opportunity to go and look and think, well, I better tip it a little bit or this way or this way. But what I did do, I took and put on what I did last week. I put a little white, a little blue, and a little red. And here's what I have. Let me bring it over to the canvas there. All I see is Lori. I don't see anything else. Lori, you going to are you frozen, Lori?
No, hold on just a minute. Well, I am frozen, but let me find you. I thank you. Need to spotlight your video. There you are.
Hi, Sue.
Okay.
Okay, so
Good.
now we have it. Now I don't know if you remember how it looked last week, but this is the way it looked after putting a little white, a little red, and a little blue in it. And I absolutely love that. I can see a splash coming in there. If I wanted to do a seascape, you could turn it this way and it looks almost like a person looking out upon a scene. So I love the aspect of mystery. This looks like it's upside down with a couple eyes. Oops, I don't think I'll use that one. What about this way? Gee, there's something up in the sky there, isn't there? So
looks
anyway,
like a blue dog. It does. It looks like a blue setter or something.
Oh, very good. Okay, here's what we have now, and we're going to proceed with it. I was telling Lori when I look at this, I don't, and I look at the monitor, I don't see the colors here that I see on the monitor. I love it. I love the way it's coming through and all that. But we'll go ahead and put on some more work. Now, I'm going to start with a fan brush, and I'll take some pure Van Dyke brown. Now, when I say that, I'm looking at wetting it just a little bit with some magic clear. And then we'll come over. I want to make this a little darker at the top and on the right side. That's left side, Buck. Oh, okay. On the left side. And I'm hitting across the tree just a little bit, which does what? It brings that branch down so you don't see it as evenly or as equally as you do that below. Okay, we'll stop there with that. A brush, I told you we'll stop there. Oh, okay. Then what I want to take is have a small flat brush. Where are you? Right here. And I want to come out just a little bit along there. It's so important to have the burn of the sky, but it doesn't always have to be real bright red. So I'm looking here. Here's my red, and I'm going to push a little bit in. That's a little much. Let's bring a little yellow ochre down. Oh, I like that. There's what I want. There's what I want right there. So that's Van Dyke brown, red, and some ochre. It's about equal parts. So I'll come up here and I'm just touching gently, and I wipe the brush just a little bit so I can touch a little more forcefully without leaving much paint on. Oh, I need to be careful here. Okay, let's come down here. and let that come out just a little bit into the sky. Just a little bit there. Okay, then the other place I want to put this is put some on the trunk itself. Ooh, that is so important. The in-between color between the highlights and the dark edge, dark shadow side. I find that is so neglected in many landscapes paintings. Now I'm going to take a palette knife and let's see, let's take some orange and yellow ochre. Okay, that's 2 yellow ochre and 1 orange. And I'll try it without white. Oh, what do you think? I think I can go darker. So I'm going to take orange and yellow ochre and see if that'll do it. If it won't, we'll see what we should do. Oh, I like that. It's working. Oh, that really brings the sunlight down there. Now I want to take just a little bit. This is sap green, and let's just hold it up to it. No, okay. What? How much? You want to put some yellow ochre in it? I think so. 1 yellow ochre and 1 sap green. Okay, I mix it with a knife, ochre and sap green, and I'm going to place it on. It's see how fully bottom, not an edge like we did the light on the trees. This is the foliage, some of the foliage. I really love the palette knife. I like what that just did. Now, as I go down lower, I'll be using more green, but on the way, I noticed in here could be a little darker. So I'm taking just Van Dyke brown and coming out closer to the Savior. Oh. Okay, let's see. Will that work? I believe it will. It's nice to be a believer. Oh. And I like that little accidental look. I hadn't planned on that. Those little leaves, I'll just leave them. So now I'm coming with that sap green and yellow ochre that I put up there. And we'll come down and we'll see there I was using the flat knife. Here, I've put it on the edge. And the reason I put it on the edge is because I want to draw right next to the tree. And then once I do that, and then I can come out with the flat edge of the knife again. Even some of that can sneak on the tree just a little bit. And say that I have too much there, then I'll take just a little bit of Van Dyke brown and just cut into it a little bit. And nobody is hurt. Okay, so I'm going to keep coming down on the land with the green and ochre. And this is a case, as I'm doing this, that I need to build to the lights. So that means I'll go lighter and lighter. Right now, I'm taking some of this, and as I come across, I want to hit that little quite bright spot there of the orange. So my eye isn't too there. It's more up above just a little bit. What about the edge? Well, it's not going to be a green edge, but we'll put some on it. We'll put something on it in a minute. Right now, I have this on, then it has another little section down here. And then I need to put more down in here. Now, what I have up, when I say up above, I'm talking about this area where I just put that. I want to have a little bit of just sap green to cut in that little bit, so it changes that. And then I also need to consider the cast shadow from the tree onto the land. And it's subtle. It's very subtle. What about up above, going up higher on the tree? This is, what did we do? Umber and red, or Van Dyke brown and red, and just a little orange. So that kind of is equal parts of red and orange and Van Dyke brown. Just across here, just a little bit. It kind of comes out into the opening slightly. It just breaks across there a little bit. And I can feel the same need up in here. Let's just say that that's too much. So I'll just take a little bit of Van Dyke brown on the knife and just touch into it slightly. Slightly more right in there. You just don't panic on the things. Now this one has a branch going out to the side. So let's add a little light with our same orangey ochre light. We'll put just a little bit that suggests the branch going out there. Then over on the right side of this, we need to have just the smallest, where are you, Twiggy brush? I put you on the bus there. No, that's not you. Well, shame on you. Hiding, here we are. I want to have, and I'm taking some of this reddish color that we put in the middle, and I'm going to come out just a little bit out. See how soft and gentle that is? And it might help even if you have just a little suggestion of something kind of coming down. Those are subtle, aren't they? And a little, just a little darker in here. We won't destroy anything, Lori. We just put a little bit there. And then even on the trunk, it's small. It's small, but it certainly needs to have a little bit of that reddish flavor on it. How come you're not looking reddish? Well, you're looking reddish. Who said you weren't looking reddish? Not me. Ooh. Oh. Okay, I think we can leave that area. Oh, there is one little branch that comes up here. It's an outreaching branch next to his neighbor. He says, "Protect me, protect me." I touch that slightly. It just makes it a little less sharp. And do you ever clean your fingers? Yes, before I eat, I clean my fingers. What about up here? Let's take just a little bit of that reddish umber and go just a little stronger out there. That's a pretty good result of in the sun area. There's such a thing as doing it just right and not have too much. I find so many They make that strong red, and there's no, no what? I don't know, but it's just too much. Ugh, I like just, well, good. I'm glad you like it. So I'll take a little paper towel. I did put magic clear on the whole canvas before I started, so that when I put on the Van Dyke brown, it went very smoothly. And same thing with the thing that I just removed, because of the magic clear on it. It made it easier to remove it. Okay, let's come down into the middle of the sky, and we'll come down in this area, and let's see what we need there. I know it's going to be orange and ochre. Let's try 2 ochre, 1 orange, see if that works. And some white. Now I want to hold this up. This is where I want to come. And I look up above just to get a little verification that it's going to work. So there we are, ochre. Did you say ochre? Ochre. Orange and white. And I'm using the knife, the flat knife again. I'm going to sneak there. I'm going to put some of this right next to that little branch there. And then we'll come down a little lower. This really works well. Just the flat of the knife, pushing it around. Do we need anything any further? Just a little bit in here, a little bit in there. I think you're all right. Let's put some at the top, this being the top, right over in there. And because it has the magic clear on, it's so easy to control by pushing it. It flattens out quite nice. Okay, now when I come down lower, I'm first going to put some green in here, and then maybe a little over there, and then we'll let some of this come down onto the bank. The goal I have is that this will make the wall. And I don't know how many of you know that term, but that's the term that I live by these days, make the wall. And that's thanks to Lori saying, is it good enough to be on your wall? Let's put some of this over here. And if it isn't, make it so it is. We'll go both sides of that little tree. Okay, now let's come with the, yes.
It's Lynn. What was the concentration of the orange, yellow, ochre, and white, please?
What was the amount?
Yeah, was it 1 to 2 to 1?
You mean this?
Yes, please.
Let me mix it because I don't want to guess. Okay, I'll start out with 1, 1, and 1, and then see what we have to add. That's a very good question. Thank you. This is 1, 1, 1, and this, so it'd be 2 yellow ochre, 1 orange, and 1 white.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for asking. Okay, for the distance in here, we want to have greenish, but we want to make sure we're not too dark. So I'm going to take some green, and I've used this mixture plus 1 green, and that's what I have. 1 sap green and 1 of that mixture. So you were very timely, Lynn, very timely, perfect, as usual. Okay, let's go across. This was an actual scene that I saw, and I just love that aspect of it. So let's come down to the bottom now, and I'm looking at, I want sap green, but I need to have just a little, oh, you're burnt umber. Oh, let's use some of you. Let's see what happens with 2 sap green and 1 burnt umber. Oh, just right. You got that? 2 burnt umber, 1 sap green. I forget when it was. Was it last week? I was talking about something and I thought, no, that's not right. That's not right. And finally I corrected it. And I don't even remember what I was talking about. So, you know, correct me, question me if you think I'm not doing what you wish. Okay, I'm going to let some of this come down lower and we'll have to put up the lights on. And that's right in this area. So first I'm taking this, which will give us some wet paint there, some green, even though the green is not going to be the fine. And I want to go on this side of the tree. Oh, there you go. Okay, now let's go back to the bank. And you see all the women's ears pick up. Bank? No, that's not nice. That wasn't true, kind, or necessary. Okay, here is some green, sap green, a little cadmium yellow. So equal parts. And we'll come down in this area. Again, building to the lights. So we'll put other things on. Let's go just a little stronger behind there. That really is nice because you get the feeling of the flow of the sun. Okay, now inside this, we need a little of that golden tone too. And I'm looking at going clear back to the umber and red that we put on the tree there. And let's put this right on here, knowing that we can go lighter. Okay, so now go lighter. Let's take some of the sky color, this lower sky color. Now, when I place this on, it's a little strong, but if I take the knife and push it around just a little bit, because it's on top of something that's wet, then it will certainly do its job. It'll blend in. A little bit right in the middle there. And then I noticed something. Let's see. Let's take red and white. Let's see, red and white. That's, what are you? You're still red. So let's have 2 white, 1 red. See what that comes up with. Now you can't see it, but if I hold it up to the top one, then it kind of matches. That's another way of matching. Okay, so we'll put this on. I gave you the formula, 2 red and 1 white. I love using the knife, but I like it in chorus with the brush. Let's take 1 sap green and 1 white. Let's have 2 sap greens and 1 white. I'm just loving it. There has such a nice softness to it, as well as the variety of colors. That really pleases me. I did notice one thing when let's go just a little higher with this. that I need to consider. This light I like very much. This one, I'm going to not remove it. I'm going to just take it away. Isn't that removing it? Yes, but I want to relocate it just a little bit higher. Just a little bit up there. So the powerful one is right here. We could have just a little strength on that guy too. Just a little bit. You did it. Enough. There's no way that this guy could get by without having a little bit of the light on him as well. Just a little bit. He's a small little character, but it works. I'll take some of the green and push against at the bottom so it's a little higher. Okay, let's go. Where do you want to go? Well, I think we better go right. We're there. We need to have a little bit here. So we'll take some of that green and come down here. Now in doing that, see, instead of having the separation here, I'm making this a little more supportive of that. Where did that red come from? It must have been from some of the priming. So I'm taking a little green and just touch a little bit on that. Okay, still kind of in the middle of the canvas. I put these on and we'll push those up just a little bit more. This is a real nice palette knife. I quite enjoy its results. Okay, then down lower in here, we show a little evidence of lower trees. So I have one yellow, one, what's that? One sap green, one yellow, one white, one sap green. That doesn't look right. Let me mark that, take that off and say, do it right. Okay, here's the sap green and yellow. Let's try that. Let's try that. So there's no white, just one and one. Now that's pretty subtle, but I like it. Do you see that? Just that little amount of light. Oh, yes, 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 yes. And I noticed on the original, it has some of the little bit of the sky color coming down in here. So it's kind of a path down. Okay, I think that we can leave that side for a while. We'll come over to the middle. This,
Sorry, I didn't quite catch that.
oops,
Could you please repeat it?
I accidentally touched my phone. So the voice you heard was wondering what I was doing.
This is the only matching iPhone I
Oh,
have.
shoot. Go away. Go away. All right. I'm going to take the sap green and burnt umber, equal parts. Let's start with the brush. I have a fan brush that I want to take the corner of the fan brush and fill it. And then let's go up in here. These go kind of high. Oh, yes, yes, yes. Not much out there. That's dangerous territory because you're being affected by the sun, so be cautious. Okay, now to ensure that they are aware that they're near the sun, I'm going to take a little of this reddish tone that we put on early on the trees trunks to the see, then you really feel like the sun is affecting its neighborhood, which is both sides. What's happening here? You're just a little strong. Soften. Okay, so let's continue with this just a little bit. And we could have even just a little inside. Oh, beautiful dreamer. Get over on your own side. Okay, over here. Now I'm going to have just a little bit Van Dyke brown because I want some of these to have just a little deeper interior. You're on the path to make the wall. Make the wall. That means that you're good enough. And why is your wall so important? It's to make any wall. That's it, not just mine. Okay, now let's do this. Let's take some of the, where are you, knife? We'll go with just a little bit of the light like we used on this side. We'll put it on this side. So that's the orange and ochre. And let's see, will this work? Well, I need to push that in a little bit so there's no green showing. If this is not going to be light enough, and oh my goodness, I think it'll be light enough up here. Now, I want to knock this one down a little bit that I just put on there. So I have a little bit of the umberish green, just a little bit like that. And down in here, I quite like that, but you're not right. So I'll take a little bit of that green and ochre, and just come across just ever so slightly. Just enough so that I can come with my lightest light down in here. And please, oh, you did such a good job. And I'm not saying Buck did a good job. The knife did a good job. That's great. And then as we did up on the other side, let's have just a little bit of the reddish umber. Oh, just a little bit of twigs. You look like you have one coming up here. And notice that it has that kind of reddish flavor to it. So the last thing that I want to do on that one right now is I need to have just a little bit of feeling of it's kind of a see-through. So we won't be real light, but we need to have some. So I'm taking orange and green, and then I'll get a little bit of the other color in it. This will just break it up gently. That is such an important other thing to watch, is that when you put a air hole in a tree, make it work. It takes, you know, its neighbors, the little neighborhood around it needs to respond. It can't be just a sharp placement. And I have to go back and check mine. So right now, and say, okay, well, what did you just preach? Don't have sharpness. So I'll just touch just a little bit, and hopefully that will work. I'll just touch this out slightly towards the sun. That little extra work, that softening of that is so good. It makes me want to come up here and soften those a little bit too. Okay, let's see what we have. I'm going to just blend across that a little bit. All right, I kind of need to check where I'm doing. I think what I'll do is go to the river next. The stream, you get the feeling of blue and then some highlight on it, but there's so much other than that. So I'm going to put some of the other than that on. I have some umber and red. Think, where are you going to put that? I'm going to put it a little bit on the rocks. You can see just a little bit. It's a building process always. You add gradually lighter light.
Was that a 1-to-1, please?
Well, that's the one that I put on early on here.
Oh, thank you.
I think that is a 1-to-1, is it not? You don't want to tell me? You don't have to tell me if you don't want, Lynn. Okay, so
I'm looking it up.
so my point then that I said, I have some of that there. I'm going to take a little bit of umber or Van Dyke brown. I think I'll take some umber. Now watch this. I'm coming into the water with the umber. And we'll do the same here. And then we'll put some of the lights on the light foam. But some of the shading, the shadows of the stream need to be other than just darker blue. That's what I want to emphasize. There's certainly room for darker blue too, but this is a good beginning. Now I'll take some of the darker blue. This, when I say darker blue, I'm looking at the phthalo white. It looks like it's 2 phthalo, 1 white. Just kind of touching in to that I just placed on. Okay, now what you have left is middle value. So we can go lighter on it, and that always part. Now you realize when we say, okay, this there, let me get another brush. The sun is there, straight down, straight down, straight down. What happens? See, so we have to put light over here, and it would happen. It's just not the typical of a seascape where the light comes straight down. This hits the water as it's available to be hit. So I'm taking some cad yellow and white. Looks like I better not guess. It looks like yellow and white. It looks like about 2 white, one yellow. I have it on the knife, and I'm going to have my first one real strong right there. And what I've done, I've gone as close now I've gone as close to that edge as I can get. So the mistake I see a lot of, they put that all the way across, and you sort of feature the area there. See, I put a little bit there. And then as we come down, of course, that changes value because it's changed direction from top to side. And so we'll come down to the next one, or we can put this down at the bottom of that little waterfall. And then strong again right in here. And that's what I'm referring to. We are not necessarily a straight line down. I'll go over just a little bit more so we get a little bit more of that straightness. But look at all the secondary values in there. So it feels natural. It feels like it's happening. Okay, in that area, we again, we won't put any coming down through, but we'll hit where it splashes. Can you imagine the privilege of doing this carefully instead of saying, okay, you have 28 minutes, Buck, go ahead and do it. Ugh, I love this. Although I'll be going back in September and we'll do some more of the. They do give me 2 times. And you have all the paint mixed and everything, so it works. Okay, down here. And then we have quite a gap between those last 2, this one and this one. So let's have just a little bit of the splash over there too. Not splash, but light on the water. And then down below, you come right down, and here we are. Oh, that is coming so correct. Let's go over just a little bit more with a quantity. Here's quantity. And I like when I put this on that the kind of tapping sometimes there's still a little bit on the knife that makes it possible to get a little accidental qualities here and there. I would like to do one other thing. Now, we're going to have to come back Friday. It may not take the whole time, but I'll need to work on that. I'll let it dry. And you notice today, it was dry. I let it dry in between. But let's come over to this area and just get a start on that big bush. So I'm looking at red and umber, burnt umber. So I brush mixed it, but it was equal parts. And it comes over, it's under this tree. The bulk of it would be up above, but it does have a nice foundation. And then I'll let some of this come down towards the stream. So Lori, after I put this on, then we can go for any comments or questions, if that's all right with you.
That's all right with me.
That's my special for everybody. Okay, now I'm going to come back with a little bit of, let's see, this is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. It should be dry. Sometimes the reds are a little slower drying, the cadmiums, reds and yellows, oranges. This is one red, one white. And look, see, it's on the knife, the flat part of the knife. See, there's so much energy when you use the knife and kind of flatten it out. And a little bit down there. Okay, I'm going to take the one kind of sweep with the fan brush, and I'm looking over here first. Oops, you got anything on the brush that shouldn't be on it? Looks like it's a little white. Oh. And I'm not saying that we won't come back and put a little accents on the area we've worked on. None of it gets the okay until it is okay. I like that softening a little bit. And you see right above this light, what do you have? It's the smallest, thinnest blue. So you don't have that sharp contrast of the light against the edge of the land. That was kind of an accident, but it's certainly a good accident. Okay, this one just gently. This one gently. Okay, do not hold your applause. Anyway, that's it.